A new law took effect on September 1st, sounding the alarm on the health and well-being of those who show up to a wide range of disasters and emergencies. The law requires the state to assemble a panel to examine support systems in place for firefighters as Texas grapples with losing first responders to suicide. At this Cedar Park fire station, Jonathan Perez sits down to tell us what he misses most about his dear friend, Corey Flores.
I mean, it's just having just someone I could always talk to, just someone I could always reach out to, whether it was something good or something bad. I just miss just reaching out to him.
A 7-year friendship started when the two were hired as firefighters in Cedar Park.
I don't know what it was, we were just connected the first day.
And ended when an overwhelming moment moved Corey to take his own life nearly a year ago.
To me, he was one of the strongest people I've ever met, and I would tell him that all the time. So when it happened, I just couldn't wrap my head around it being him.
Over the years, Corey and Jonathan became inseparable, saw each other as brothers. Corey's father remains close to Jonathan, supporting and visiting each other as they both continue to grieve.
He was going through a lot of pain, and he believed that was the only way out. You know, I see his family hurting. I see our brothers and sisters hurting. I'm hurting. I don't want that for anyone else.
Corey's death is one of a growing list of first responder fatalities attributed to suicide, with incidents involving firefighters increasing, according to research from the U.S. Fire Administration.
I think it's getting worse, and what I mean by that is it's very, very widely recognized in the fire service that post-incident stress and suicides are a problem today that we didn't have decades ago in the fire service.
Bob Nix is president of the Austin Firefighters Union. He says in Austin alone, 5 firefighters have died by suicide since 2017.
We see tragic things, very tragic things. And, it's hard to put that to bed sometimes, and it does accumulate over time.
But now there's a new law on the books that could help save those who have made a career saving the rest of us. House Bill 1593 requires the Texas Commission on Fire Protection to assemble an advisory committee to study the need to put into place suicide prevention and peer support programs in fire departments across the state.
You're going to somebody's worst day. You might do that 7-10 times a day.
Mike Wisco is the agency chief at the commission, charged with turning the new law into action.
A lot of fire departments across the state already have programs in place, and I think this committee will take a look at what's already out there, what's working, what's not working, and how do we build upon that.
Wisco says work is already underway to form the 11-member advisory committee, comprised of firefighters, mental health professionals, fire chiefs, and reps from the State Firefighters and Fire Marshals Association, which represents more than 30,000 volunteer firefighters across Texas. The group will examine what the needs are for firefighters when it comes to mental health training, peer support training and programs, and present a report to state lawmakers.
This report could recommend legislation. It could recommend additional training. So I think it's monumental.
Firefighters work long hours and see so much tragedy, which can foster depression and strain relationships. The committee will also explore what it takes to get firefighters comfortable with sharing and seeking support.
The worldview of firefighters is we're the macho heroes. We show up and take care of everything. We're running into burning buildings when everybody else is running out. Absolutely true, but we're still human beings, and we're impacted by the things you see and the things we do.
So you could tell some people are still under the stigma of it looks weak to reach out. And I really, really hope we can change that culture.
It's part of the reason why Jonathan agreed to this interview, using the pain of losing a loved one, hoping the tragedy can at least spark some positive change for others in his field.
Losing him left a huge hole in all of our lives, And the only way I think all of us are really working through it is kind of leaning on each other. You can never really replace a spirit like that.
Jonathan actually is a member of the peer support team for the Cedar Park Fire Department, which already has a number of mental health counseling resources available for its firefighters. So does the Austin Fire Department. Under House Bill 1593, the new advisory committee must turn its report into the state legislature by September of next year. The commission meets in November and will vet the candidates whose names were submitted for the panel. If you or someone you know is struggling, call 988. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers free, confidential support.